Hi guys, how is it going? We are going to do a quick 10-minute update on Stellar, okay? This coin was requested by Maria Areola, who originally requested IOTA, but instead I thought we'd take a look at this coin because it is so stellar. So let's take a look at Stellar. So the first thing that we want to acknowledge is that this is, by the way, Stellar to Bitcoin on, I have no idea which one it is. I think on Binance. Yes, on Binance here. So we have to acknowledge the 5 waves going up, right? There has been 5 motive waves going up here on the Bitcoin chart, regardless of where we decide to count it. Maybe 1 there, 2 there, 3 there, 4, 5 there. So it has had a definitely a run. I don't want to spend too much time counting it. This could be 3 right there for all we know. 1, 2, this could be 3, 4, and 5. And what we need to acknowledge is some trend lines. That is the first thing that I do. So the first thing that I always do is here, it originally broke out, of course, right? We had this original trend line like that, kind of like a wedge, almost, and then it broke out. Now, why the heck did it break out of there? That's a big question, okay? So usually, what patterns form is something like this, at the end of a 5-wave impulse, right? It can form something like this, and we see that form something like that as well, where it forms kind of a wedge, with not that many relevant points though. This C was more so just a little bit like that, I guess. This one was higher. So you draw some points like that, and you see a wedge that kind of forms in there, right? ABC. So the way I would see this is actually ABC. And sometimes C can come in many different shapes and forms. So C can, for example, come in a double bottom, it can come in a truncated, it can come in a zigzag. So C can come in so many different ways. Usually what happens is if A has such intensity, C could create a double bottom, or even a truncated C where it doesn't nearly fall to right here. So what I like about this coin is it's fairly predictable right now. I think long term it still stands. Very long term, we're assuming that that's a very decent retracement already and this consolidation happens. Like even at the lowest point right there, like long term guys, for the next wave, we're still talking big numbers. We're talking like 9,000 Satoshi, 13,000 Satoshi long term. Some pretty big gains to be made. So now we wonder, what the heck is this right here? What is that going on? 1, 2, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, and all this is 5. This is most likely something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, like that. This is most likely the ABC, just to get a little sidetracked. And I'm sure there's 5 in there as well. Let's see if we can see it on a better time frame. Let's say this congested area would be 4. It usually is. 1, 2, or even right here, that very bottom, 4 and 5, like that. That's a pretty decent one. They don't always come pretty, guys. They don't always come exactly zigzagged, okay? I wish they came like that, but they don't. So we have to try our best. Now, at the end of every ABC pattern like this now denotes the bottom, if it is in a zigzag like this. And here we see it in zigzag like that, right? Or we see it like in a triangle, however, but it's more sloped down, so I would say it's absolutely a zigzag rather than a triangle. So the notation stays to ABC. So at the end of every ABC, what happens is it tries to break out upwards like that. It tries to break out into a wave. It usually meets a resistance right here, where that point and B point forms that meets the moving average. Right? It tries to break out, and then if it fails, it actually forms another ABC correction like that. Not just failing this point, but I'm just saying that that blue line is a relevant resistance. And now this makes a double Elliott wave combo zigzag called 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 waves there. So there's 7 waves for that one. So where we are right now in the exact substructure is we are on a possible X. Do you guys know why they call it X? They call it X because it's a failure point, okay? And this is just not me making it up. This is actually Elliott wave. This is that's ABC to make W. This is where X, it fails. And then it makes an extended correction down over here like that, possibly, okay? So that could easily happen as well. And in here, this makes ABC, where we get 3 waves here, and then we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, how do we test this theory of ours to see if it fails? Now, that's the important thing, right? We want to know if it fails by seeing how many waves this one has formed, first of all, and I'm betting on 5. Yes, there's 5 beautiful waves in here. All right, there's 5 beautiful waves. I'd probably say this is, let's go to 15-minute chart. That might be easier to see. All right, an extended 5th wave for that one, perfect. Or a 5th wave, yep. I'd say perfect. So in here, it makes small 1 somewhere there. Actually, 1, 2, perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, like that. A, B, C in here, or A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, E in there for maybe an expanding flat. This one here is a zigzag. Hard to see, I'm not zooming in. So now what we're seeing is, we're seeing this right here. How do we test for failure, okay? We test for failure by seeing how far this retraces. We take our Fibonacci tool, Fibonacci tool, and then we do that, guys. And then what we do is we test to see how far it comes down, okay? I like to break out into Fibonacci songs if you guys don't remember, okay? It's very random and it's usually meant to scare people. Have I scared any of you guys yet before, I wonder? I hope I have. Hold on, I gotta check a message of mine really quickly. Okay, she said BTC. Sorry, never mind. Yeah, so we want to see how far it retraces. And what we see right now is only a 382 retracement. Therefore, unfortunately, is going to retrace more. There's no way it's that bullish, okay? And secondly, it's already falling below, okay? This is on a 15-minute chart. Let's go to daily. On a daily, with only like an hour or something to go, or 2 hours to go, we have already got a shooting star that's forming, okay? At the end of an uptrend, it's not a really good candle right now, okay? I'm sorry. On a 4-hour chart, we got shooting star as well. Therefore, what this means is, it's actually going to be correcting, guys. I'm sorry to say. You guys probably don't want to hear that right now, but the way I see this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of this is consolidation right here, probably. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. It's very clear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the longest one. All of this is consolidation. Therefore, it's easy to deduce that this is now A, all of this is B, and now there's going to be a C somewhere down here. And where is it likely to be? Where the previous resistance was. Where was the previous resistance? Right here. Okay, that blue line. I'm drawing it pretty ugly. But right there. So therefore, if we assume that right there, and we just take our Fibonacci extension tool, and we line it up with the 1-to-1 extension, boom, we cross the paths right there, and then we get a C, a 618 possibly, 618 extension. Our buy zone is somewhere in here. I'm pretty interested in this one actually. So yeah, our buy zone's in here because we now use the resistance, which acts as a support. We also target a 1-to-1 extension of a basic zigzag Elliott wave right here. So the buy zone is, you guys do it yourselves, draw in your charts, okay? It's pretty much right above this trend line, which I will say above 4,000. Okay, 4,000 critically needs to hold, we'll say, about 4,000 and 4,100 Satoshi, right around there. That is where I will see if it fails or not. Okay, if this does not hold, this needs to hold. It needs to hold for the next impulse move to come up, okay? If it does fail, right? If it does fail, then we're just going to have to assume this. We're going to have to assume, darn, a channel is forming like this now, and it's actually going to come down another touch somewhere down here, okay? So if it goes down to right around there, where the previous place was a resistance, is now a support, then yes, we will break out into a higher high, provided that we stay above the major resistance. But if it retraces at all, in any way, lower than this trend line support that we've recently beat already, that we broke, okay, if it even retraces to the 618 region, I would no longer consider that bullish anymore. Okay, and we are closing up below some EMAs that are major. We're bouncing off of it right now, but you know, we're getting shooting stars. shooting stars, like lots of shooting star candles in general. So there must be a further correction that will be testing the support line right there. That was a resistance. So right here is to look out for. You guys draw in those lines yourselves. If it falls into this zone, it's most likely gonna end up creating another pattern like that where it could make another touch on the bottom. So am I bullish on it right now? Unfortunately not. Unfortunately not. Am I bearish on it? Short term, absolutely I am. Based on all these candles, how could I not be, right? So these critical places need to hold. If they don't, we will absolutely end up testing Stellar again somewhere along this support line over the next few days, right? Like for all we know, like we could break down to here, the 618 Fibonacci region, right? Because that support didn't hold. Sure, that can happen as well. Don't get me wrong. And then we just bounce to the 618, right? 618, and then we trend along here, and then we just trend along this line right here. So this ends up becoming some sort of like I don't know, like say an A, a B, you know, something, a C, a D, an E, kind of like a wedge or a flag, whatever. I'm just using simple annotation, right? And it ends up trending along over here, right? And then it breaks out. That's a possibility as well. So I'm giving both bearish and bullish views, but in the short term right now, because we don't know if it's really going to bounce here or not, it's very impossible to extrapolate the next wave. We need to see, first of all, if this is a wave that's going to fail or not. And we test that by using Fibonacci to see where support is found right now. So that's where I stand with Stellar, guys. I don't got the best news with it, but I'm following up with it because it was requested. So other than that, if you guys enjoyed my post, I'd really appreciate an upvote on Steemit. And I'd also appreciate a like, subscribe, and share, and the whole social media 9 yards and stuff like that as well. So take it easy, and good luck, stay cautious.